Today we're going to be looking at and installing the All-O-Matic SL100AC slide gate operator. Well, the UPS truck just dropped this thing off and drove away. Let's see what's inside the box. Well, here's what was inside the box. You can see another box. And here's the actual opener. Seems to be coming on a wood, small wood pallet of some sort. And there appears to be some hardware inside here. Well, I loosened the 3 bolts that held the cover on, the plastic cover. And inside, we can see we got an owner's manual, 2 10-foot sections of roller chain, some hardware for the chain, for the attachment to the gate, a square metal key, and look inside here. You can see there's a plexiglass cover on the top here. Very nice. And this is the limit switch hardware right here. An electrical outlet and half horsepower motor. Over here we can see the business end of it. And let's look at this key. I'm guessing, you can see how there's a square hole here. This key seems to fit in here so that you can rotate the motor. Okay, I took off the plexiglass cover. You can see there's a spare fuse in here. They have a diagram for the connections. And we can see on the outside here there's a power switch and a reset switch. And these are where your external connections go for the controller, the RF controller unit, which it does not come with. Looking more closely at the controller board, you can see there's 4 buttons here. There's open, stop, close, and reset. Various different sensitivity for open and close, to where if it hits something, it'll stop the thing from crushing something. Timer, delay, some toggle switches here, some more toggle switches there. We'll figure all these things out a little bit more later as we go on. And all in all, it looks really nice. And I took off the old opener, and you can see the pad, and you can see it's had a number of different operators here over the years. And so anyway, I've got a 2-foot by 1-foot concrete pad, which is actually kind of a bad size for the All-O-Matic. The All-O-Matic really would have been great. You know, it sticks out past the end. So we're going to have to do something about this. But 18 by 18 really would have been an ideal size for the All-O-Matic. But anyway, I cut off some of the old bolts here, and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. And we'll put some new expansion bolts in here, and probably have to drill some new mounting holes in the opener. And we'll get this thing all set up. Okay, I got everything ready. I marked the holes. You can see I got a hole marked there, marked there, marked there, and a mark there. And I measured everything twice, and I'm certain it's in the exact right spot. And so now I'm ready to put my concrete anchors in. Okay, here we are. This is what I picked up at the hardware store. I got the 1/2" by 3" anchors. And you notice they say to drill a hole with a 1/2" drill bit, clean it out, bang it on down there with a hammer, and then tighten her down. So anyway, I got a really nice carbide hammer drill bit, and it's for concrete, and of course a hammer drill. Boy, a hammer, if you don't have a hammer drill, this is just going to take you forever. You should probably buy a hammer drill. Okay, I got my 4 holes drilled. I took some compressed air and blew all the dirt out of them. Now, according to the instructions, you just take these anchor bolts, set them in here, then you take a hammer and smash them on in there, and then tighten up the threads. Let's give it a try. I had never done this before. Okay, and now I guess we just tighten up the threads. Okay, we got everything all attached. Had to, boy, I tell you, I made some mistakes here and had some problems. And eventually, I just used a traditional anchor, you know, the plastic anchor that goes in here, and then I used one of the lag screws that was that came with the thing. Anyway, it's in here nice and solid. Lessons learned. Boy, I went with these 1/2-inch ones because they're really heavy duty, but I probably maybe should have done 3/8. And I needed to be a little bit more careful about getting everything straight and aligned because these didn't fit in the holes, and I had to drill out the holes, make them a little bit larger. But anyway, we got that, and we took the electrical whip, screwed it up into the box, and attached the wires. And of course, it's white to white, black to black, and green goes to the bare copper ground wires. So I'm going to turn on the circuit breaker and see what happens. Okay, the breaker's on. I verified that there is power here at the outlet, and now I'm going to turn the switch on and see a couple little LEDs. Well, nice. Well, now it's time to hook up my radio receiver, and of course I'm going to reuse the old one so that my remotes all work the same. Now, the instruction manual talks about the 4-wire and the 3-wire, and it's kind of interesting. I don't think I'm going to actually hook it up this way. This is the way it was hooked up before, but it's kind of difficult hooking up to this 24-volt terminal. There's a 24-volt terminal here. Terminal number 3 is 24 volts in the common. And I checked with an ohm meter, and then I looked and opened up my radio receiver, and it actually only had 3 terminals, but you know, the common had 2 wires going to it. So there's really no point in running this wire this way. I can just hook up the 24 volt and have 2 wires in the common here. So that's just what I'm going to do. Okay, I finally got everything all figured out. You know, basically we've got these dip switches here, and I turn the timer on, the radio on, the oscillate on, lock off, 1 pass off, slave off, and then the open left right I turn on to make it open from the right. So anyway, take a look at these LEDs. So you can see right now it's closed because the closed limit switch is on. And anyway, I had some real problems because you see these last 2 ones that say monitor open and monitor closed, they were red and nothing would happen. So what I had to do is I had to make a special little jumper. So you can see where it says monitor closed, monitor open, then common. I took 2 wires, screwed them into common, and then put one of the wires to monitor open, then one of the wires to monitor closed. Now everything's open. So right now the gate's closed, so we're going to say open. So now it's going along. And you can kind of see these things are going. You can see that switch right there. As soon as that black plastic gear comes to the switch, it's going to stop. There it goes. Now it stops. If we look here, you can see the LED is lit for the open limit. And we can see the timer's flashing because I turned on timer. And then in a certain amount of time, there it goes, now it's closing automatically. Okay, now I've hooked up the chain through the actuator. And I did this with the gate completely closed. And I adjusted it to where it was, had just a little bit of a gap, and right where I wanted it for closed. And now I pressed open. And then once the gate got to the point where I wanted it to stop, I pressed stop, and now I have that unit turned off. And I'm going to take the open limit switch. You can see this open limit switch right there. I'm going to wheel this nut over until it actuates the switch, and then I'll have the right distance. Well, all right, that's a nice looking unit. Everything's all hooked up, everything's all adjusted, and I just put the cover on. But I don't notice one little problem. You can see that big old axle bolt coming out there. It's not going to clear that thing. I'm going to have to cut off 4 inches along the bottom there to get that to fit. But that should only take a minute. Okay, here we go. Okay, we'll press the remote control. And it's working real nice.